Hello! So today we're gonna do some math. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with the rational equation. So I have 2 over x plus 2 plus 2 over x plus 4 equals 1. So your first step is to find the least common denominator, and the least common denominator would be x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4. So your next step after you find the least common denominator is you multiply it by the top, because you're trying to eliminate the bottom part of the ratio. Make sure to multiply it on the other side, the equal side as well. Okay, so now you can cancel out your bottom number. So that cancels out with that. X plus 4 cancels out with this x plus 4, and then there's nothing that cancels out there because there's no ratio for that. So you're left with 2x plus 4 plus 2x plus 2 equals x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4. So your next step after that is to distribute in your factors and FOIL this right here. So you got 2x plus 8 plus 2x plus 4 equals x squared plus 6x plus 8. And then you combine like terms, and you end up with, on this side, 4x plus 12 equals, and then you're just left with 6x plus 8. So you bring that down. Then you take your minus 4x. You're trying to get all of it on one side in order to solve. Minus 4x, so that'd be 12 equals x squared plus 2x plus 8. And then you do that with the 12, so subtract 12 from both sides. So you're left with 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 4. Okay, so your next step is to figure out if this can factor out. But it doesn't, because nothing multiplies to negative 4 but adds to 2. It seems like there would be, but there isn't. So I decided that I would use the quadratic formula in order to solve this. So your A equals 1, your B equals 2, and your C equals negative 4. So then you use a quadratic formula and you do negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So basically you just plug in those numbers and then solve. So I'll show you what that looks like. It will look like negative 2. Actually, yeah, negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 4 all over 2 times 1. So your next step here is to solve this equation. So you're left with negative 2 plus or minus, after you figured out what's in the square root. So that'd be 4 minus negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then multiplied by negative 4 is 16, positive 16. So then it'll be 4 plus 16. And you solve down here, which ends up being 2. So 4 plus 16 is 20. So you go with negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 2. Your next step here is to figure out if this, you can square root it, but you can't. So what you do is he can't get out of here unless he has a buddy. So you gotta make sure there's pairs that can factor out of that. So multiples of 20 is 4 and 5, and then that factors down to a 2 and 2. And this is a pair, so they can get out of jail. So it's negative 2 plus or minus 2 square root 5 over 2. And this can simplify. I'm going to move this up here. So this can simplify down because this factors out and it'll be negative 1, and then this cancels out, which is just 0. So your answer is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 5, which equals, so x will equal negative 1 plus the square root of 5, and x equals negative 1 minus the square root of 5. So right there is your answer. So the next one I'll do is just one of my favorites, but it is just a normal equation. So this one's going to be 5x squared minus 3x minus 2. So here it's already in ax squared minus or plus bx plus c form. So all you do there is you try to factor it out and simplify. But this also does not factor because there's nothing that, because the 5's there and there's nothing that multiplies to negative 2 but adds to negative 3. So again, I will use the quadratic equation. A equals 5, B equals negative 3, and C equals negative 2. So quadratic equation is negative b, so that'd be plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared plus 4 times 5 times negative 2 all over 2 times 5. So then your next step here is to solve it. Negative 3 squared is 9. 4 times 5 is 20 times negative 2 is negative 40. And then this will be 10. So you got 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 40 is negative 31 over 10. So you get to this point, there's nothing you can do. So this is your answer. So x equals 3 plus the square root of negative 31 over 10. And x equals 3 minus the square root of negative 31 over 10. So these are your answers because you can use imaginary numbers to get that negative out of there. But other than that, you can't square root a negative. So those are your answers. And I hope you enjoyed my video.